You're listening to What Now with Trevor Noah. So it's Thanksgiving week here in the United States, and guess what? We have a little bonus episode just for you. Perfect to help spark a conversation at your Thanksgiving table. Yeah, and hopefully, a conversation that won't lead to someone storming out of the room. If you've been listening to the show for a while, you know that one of our favorite games is If I Ruled the World. And you probably know how it works. Everyone comes up with one suggestion. If you were in charge of the world, you could do anything you want. What would it be? What would you change? You make your case, and then everyone votes on it. And if you get enough votes, that change would happen in your hypothetical world. Well, today, it's If I Ruled the World, Listener Edition. We got a bunch of suggestions for ideas from you, the What Now listeners, and Christiana Mbakwe Medina, Josh Johnson, and I. Well, we run through them, and we decide if we would in fact want to live in your world. It's a fun one, so let's get into it. This is What Now with Trevor Noah. So before we get into today's If I Ruled the World chat, since it's Thanksgiving week, I've been thinking a lot about the kinds of conversations we have when we gather with friends and loved ones around the table. And a lot of people ask me this question. They'll say, "Oh, Trevor, what do you do with your family? Like, how do you keep it light?" And look, I don't have a perfect answer for this, but I noticed there was a distinct difference in how some people started having their Thanksgiving conversations, especially over the past decade, let's say, and how we would gather with family members back in the day in South Africa. And the biggest one was we started all our conversations speaking about things that we all experienced, just taking people down memory lane, connecting around like crazy stories. Like, grandparents would talk about the grandkids and how much they'd grown and like embarrassing stories from their lives. And, and then the parents would talk about their first time having a Christmas dinner. Because obviously we didn't have Thanksgiving in South Africa, but we had family gatherings and family dinners where everyone came together at a certain time of year. And what I noticed is if you start conversations with the fond memories that connect people, you spend less time in the politics of now that divides people. And it doesn't mean you can't talk about politics. I'm not saying that. But just remember what you're trying to do. You're trying to connect with other human beings around a table, sharing a meal. It doesn't matter what the holiday is. That's fundamentally the purpose. And so if that's the purpose, think about the best way to go about that. It's finding a way to connect with another human being's heart. And a lot of the times, our memories are where our heart lives. So, I don't know, try it. Ask your parents about a funny story from when you were young that maybe you've forgotten about. Tell them to share something embarrassing about you that maybe you didn't know about, and then you can tell them a story from your childhood, something that you got away with, that you always hoped they would never find out. And I don't know, let's connect and see if we can make this one a little less about politics and a little bit more about the human beings connecting around this time of year. And maybe this will give you some inspiration. Play a round of If I Ruled the World with your friends and family and see if things stay a little more fun and insightful, right? And remember to think big. Think about crazy. Think just completely out of the box. In fact, if you want inspiration, take a listen to me, Christiana, and Josh right after this short break. Well, look at that. We're in the real world now. Here are a few that came in. I'm going to read them to you. I mean, we're still judges.
Reading and reacting.
I will read them to you and then we'll vote on them.
Okay.
First suggestion. If I ruled the world, all airplanes would board from back to front and we'd remove all Wi-Fi from planes.
No.
I mean, they had me with the first sentence. I don't know why they would ruin it with the second one.
Yeah.
What, you want the Wi-Fi?
I disagree with both. I just started flying business class, so now you guys want to take it away from me.
It's just Wi-Fi though.
Yeah, but if you're in the business class and you board later, that's more time to be in the lounge potentially. If you really think about this as like a real champagne capitalist, right?
Okay.
Let all the pores get on first, right?
Then what's the point of the capitalism if you're not treated better?
No, Josh
you
is
are
saying you are
treated
treated better
better.
because you get to sit in a lounge for longer.
Yeah.
No, but then you lose the overhead space.
No, you don't, because they
No,
save
no.
it for business class. They're supposed
Yeah.
to save it.
The only people who lose it are the people in the middle. They're screwed no matter who
And
boards.
they paid more for their ticket.
Yeah,
by the
They did
way.
actually.
It's crazy.
They did actually.
Yeah.
So you're a no.
Absolutely not. And I want Wi-Fi on a plane.
You like Wi-Fi on a plane?
Yes, I'm
Wow.
on TikTok. I'm on Instagram. I'm scrolling. I'm in the family WhatsApp group.
Christiana, we need to discuss your habitual connectedness.
Oh yeah, I'm heavily online.
Do you know that's the
chronically.
one time where I'm gone? Gone in ways that you cannot even
Yeah.
imagine.
Why?
No, when I'm on a plane, I'm like, guys, there is nothing that needs me on a plane. I'm gone. I have like that old vibe to it where I'm just like, he's on a plane. You know who I'm like? Remember Justine Sacco?
Oh yes,
The
text
girl,
about the AIDS.
yeah, the girl who made the joke.
tweet.
The woman who made the joke and
Yeah.
was like, going to
Yeah.
Africa, hope
Yeah.
I don't get AIDS. Lol, just joking, I'm white. And then landed in Africa, and her family was like, you need to go back to America. And the whole world was like, you're fired and we hate you.
Yeah.
I live that kind of life. I don't want to know anything that's happening on the ground because I'm on a plane. Even if like an asteroid hit, it's none of my business. I'm on a plane.
It's nice to be unreachable.
Yes.
So I agree with that. And that's why I would say, even though I'm not fully in favor of the Wi-Fi thing, there are certain movies that I don't even try to watch unless I'm on a plane. There's got to watch it right away, wait till it comes out on
Yeah.
streaming, plane.
Yes.
And so I think if I had Wi-Fi on the plane, I wouldn't
watch them.
watch them.
Yeah.
So I'll go fully yes with this.
No Wi-Fi, but then Christiana voted no on it.
No on both proposals.
And board from back to front, you and Josh?
You have to board from back to front because the chaos that happens that the way that we do it now,
Yes.
we're late every time. They have to make up time in the air on the last like 5 flights I've been on because we get to the back and they said that it was full, but then everybody's like, I'll risk it.
But-
And they're sitting in all these different areas. And so now people have to go to the back because that's the only place with any space. But then people who finally get to the back who were boarding last because they're group Z, they're the ones that are like, but this should have been my space. Now there's an argument. You got to board back to front.
So I've seen somebody deal with this. I guess they were like I don't know what level of math you have to be doing. But apparently the best way is not back to front and it's not front to back. Because if you do back to front, there's also going to be issues, apparently. So your problem would come in when you're actually boarding. Because now Josh is seat 30, I'm 29, you're 28. But if I get on the plane and then Christiana doesn't, you're still going to have people
There's
blocking
still the
each other.
gridlock.
Yeah. So you'd have to line people up outside by their seat, by their row, and then you don't have enough space in the airport to do that. So that's why it fails. The real way you're supposed to do it is actually, it's supposed to be like alternating seats and alternating sides is how the plane is supposed to board from like just like left, right, but like flip one, skip one. It's very complicated. It's not going to happen. So whoever sent that in, thank you very much for listening to the podcast. But it's a no.
Thank you. Yeah.
Here's a few more. All bosses are selected by employee vote.
No.
Ooh, that's a beautiful
No.
way to lose a company.
Yeah.
That's
Democracy is bad.
like you can't because this is the thing. I'm a pretty likable guy. It doesn't mean I'm effective.
Touche,
Do
my
you know what I
friend.
mean? So it's
Touche.
like everyone might vote for me to be their boss. They know I won't say no to PTO.
Mm-hmm.
So now because I never say no to PTO, I'm the only one at work. And then the company is losing hella money. We're hemorrhaging.
Yeah. What people should vote on is salaries.
What do you mean?
I think there should be radical salary transparency. Like, you know what everyone makes.
Yes.
That's
And
wild.
then, like,
yeah.
every year, you know, when it's like promotions and raises.
We vote on other people's salaries.
Yeah, so.
Wow.
Then-
Wow.
Well, mind you,
Yeah.
You know-
do you know what it is? People will treat each other so well in that office.
Wow.
Because you know,
Or
we
class
will have,
warfare,
or we
gang
will
it
have
up.
many true crime documentaries
no,
where
but
like
from
the cause
including
was
the CEO. You know, like the CEO's salary is a sign. The board approves it. I'm saying if we're going to be voting on anything, it shouldn't be who's the boss. It's like
You
how
are
much money
you're
you make.
literally creating murders.
Class
No,
war.
You are
fair.
literally, when I find
No.
out
People
that
are too
Josh voted against my salary bump,
Why would he? Unless he shared his vote.
let me tell you
wouldn't know.
something. People are getting killed. You have created an office of murderers. I'm going to vote no as well because I just think it's ridiculous.
Oh, I'm voting yes, but I know I'm
You voting yes?
Yeah, class warfare, baby.
Man, whoever you are, you brought out Josh the Joker, the worst version of Josh. This is the Josh that, like, if he falls into a vat of acid, we're all screwed. The only thing holding Josh back from this character is that he's still like a functioning member of society. So that's two no's and a yes.
Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
it's a no. But thank you for listening to the podcast. Next person says, if I ruled the world, I would ban single-ply toilet paper.
Yes, because it's a lot like a government program where they don't really help you. I would rather have no toilet paper in there than toilet paper I can see through when I look at it in my hand.
You've clearly only grown up in a first world country. Do you guys know this stuff before toilet paper?
Yeah, like
Yes,
I wiped my ass with newspaper for like years of my life.
newspaper's thicker than one ply.
Have you ever met the corner of a newspaper that you folded?
No,
There's no edges on toilet paper.
it's sharp, but
Yeah,
it's
it's sharp in
thicker.
your butt. Exactly.
it's thicker.
Sharp in your butt. Exactly.
The
This is a very first world opinion. You would rather have no toilet paper?
one ply is your hand. I
Yo,
would
no,
tell.
it's
I've used my
water.
hand. I've used my hand. Have you used your hand?
I've used my hand while I use one ply.
First of all, why do people act like you can't fold the toilet paper? What crazy world are we
well,
living
one
in?
ply-
Because when
is
you
also
want,
rougher.
yeah,
The
when you
texture of it's
when you
rougher.
try to
Yes.
wrap one ply,
Yes, I
you
understand
can't
this.
make two ply.
Okay,
One
people,
plus one
let
still
me-
equals one.
Let me explain something here. One ply is like flying coach at the back of a plane. It is the least good way to do something, but you are still flying in a plane. Everything
Interesting.
else is walking or being on like a ship.
The way that my fingers have
Josh,
broken
have you
through
wiped your
one
ass?
ply,
Have you wiped your ass before without toilet paper?
I've had to,
Intentionally.
no, not intentionally.
Intentionally.
I've had to. Yes, I have had to use.
Intentionally. I have, Josh. I have. Let me tell you something. Don't ever wish toilet paper out of your life.
I'm not saying I wish all the toilet paper out of my life. I'm just saying that one ply is so bad.
Yeah, you'd ban it, but then now we have no ply. Okay, I'm ready to vote. Mine is no. Christiana?
No, but because I think it's good for the planet. Right? I don't know how
Okay.
trees work, but it's
Okay.
less paper. So
All right, Josh.
Yes, because it's barely real toilet paper.
All right. Well, that's still
That's
two
that-
no's
Yeah.
and one yes. Your If I Ruled the World was voted down. But thank you very much for listening to the podcast. We really appreciate you. Thank you so much. We're going to continue this conversation right after this short break. All right, here's another one. If I ruled the world, high schools would start no earlier than 9 a.m.
that's brilliant.
Yeah, that's fine.
Brilliant. Teenagers need sleep.
Yeah.
It's cruel.
That's like part of the problem,
Problem,
actually.
yeah.
There would be more kids in extracurriculars if some of them weren't at like 7 a.m.
Extracurriculars?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
like some of the clubs, like for instance, I did Quiz Bowl when I was in high school.
You did what?
It's like trivia for high school. I was a virgin. So
You did what? What is it?
would hope
I just
so.
want to know what this is.
Quiz Bowl is like okay, it's like imagine Jeopardy but for everybody, and you go up against other schools.
Okay.
And you do Jeopardy pretty much, but it's not like the structure of picking off the board.
Okay.
It's like, I'm going to ask you one of the most random questions you ever heard.
Yeah.
You might know the answer, you might not, but your school gets points if you do.
Huh. Could you be like, yo, there's a girl, Tinashe, at our school, and she has what on her backpack? Can you ask a question like that?
It's all Jeopardy type things.
Okay, so it's
what's
more
the
general
biggest
knowledge.
ocean? Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay, got
but
it,
it's
got it,
more
got it.
specific than general knowledge, which is also.
And you did this at what time?
It would be maybe I went there at 7.
Who designs
like
your
that.
schools?
But school starts at like 8:30.
Yeah. So
In
it's like
Yeah, no, I understand that. We also had it at 8.
So if you're gonna do extracurricular that's before school,
Why?
it starts at
Where?
7.
Why would you guys have extracurriculars before school?
because you want
We
to
call
do
them
the ones
extracurriculars
after.
because it was extra.
Yes.
You cannot do extra before.
Apparently you
Yeah,
can.
Imagine going to a
apparently, yes.
restaurant and you're like, could I get an extra side of rice? And they're like, we haven't even served you yet. What are you adding the extra to? The whole point of extracurricular is that you have your curricula, then this is extra.
Yeah.
You can't start with it. We're fixing the wrong problem here.
In your scenario, you would just say "Welcome to America" because that is what we do.
Yeah, but you seem to know that. What's it like in the UK?
No, in the UK, we have like a little bit of socialism. So
Oh, there,
it's just
there you
like,
go. You hang out in the beginning.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
there was nothing before.
I don't know. This is a weird one for me.
It's also the only way you can.
I'd actually say start school at 10 and finish at 3. That would be my proposal.
Start school at 10,
Yeah.
finish at 3.
Yeah, that'd be my proposal.
Okay. I don't know. So I have a different proposal. I think you should start earlier, but do nothing for longer.
No, but they have to get out of bed. That's the issue. They need to sleep because they need to grow.
How
They
much
need a-
sleep?
they need
What
a
time are they
ridiculous
going
Maybe
to
amount
bed?
of
like 12 to 14 hours.
12 to 14 hours.
Teenagers, your
Yeah.
brains, your bones, all like they need
It's
so much
insane.
sleep.
They've done
their
studies
brains
where
need
they're
so
like-
much sleep.
That's why we think they're dumb. Because they don't sleep enough, and then we try to teach them. And then, at least I'm just talking about in the States, we try to teach them and they're tired. Then we give them a test and then they fail. And then we're like, okay, moving on to the next more difficult subject.
And they have
Wow.
to go home and study
yeah.
till late, do
Okay.
their extracurriculars.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll vote. Then I'll vote yes.
Yeah.
This seems well considered.
Yeah, that's
yes?
a good idea.
Yes.
Yes. Whoever you are, congratulations. You have achieved the first yes. If you ruled the world, high schools would start no earlier than 9 a.m. This person had an opportunity to rule the world and they just moved it by like an hour. I mean, that's responsible use of power, but not very creative. But thank you for listening to the podcast. The next suggestion we got was, if I ruled the world, everyone, no matter their job, has to shadow a service employee 1 day a month. What is a service employee? Are they talking about?
waiter?
Yeah.
Okay. I was
Yeah.
making sure.
No.
Um,
That's a no from me. Go.
What do we define by shadow?
I think shadow means like do the job.
You
as
s-
well.
you-
I mean,
do.
I thought shadow meant just watching someone do the job.
Yeah, my
Oh,
shadows never
no.
helped me do anything.
Yeah, you just like,
Oh.
I want to. Haven't you had that as a comedian? Oh, I want to shadow you for a day.
Comedians don't
Yeah.
shadow anybody.
but the way that I shadowed when I was working at like a regular job
Yeah.
was to do a mini version of the job.
Oh, Josh, I think you got tricked into free
Yeah,
labor.
yeah, that was
I don't think that's
That's not
shadowing.
shadowing.
So maybe we
That's an
should
unpaid
vote.
internship.
Yeah, I really
Maybe-
think that's
yeah.
unpaid work, Josh.
Maybe we should vote then.
I think I think shadowing is literally you just like see how the
Yeah, you
person
just
does
watch.
it.
Yeah, we
But
should.
what is the purpose of this? I
Because I,
don't
think
get
they
it.
want us to gain empathy for like service workers. But if anything, watching someone do their job up close, you always have less empathy.
Yeah, you're like
Yeah.
that looks easy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just like,
if-
it's
if-
like, oh,
if-
you'd be like, do that better. Why
Yeah.
not?
That's why I gained a respect because then they would hand it to me,
And then you
I
would see
was
how hard it
doing
is.
Yeah.
so I thought shadow meant
No.
because
that's
you know how your
interning.
shadow is attached to you. Like I
Huh.
thought that you had to be
But
doing
your shadow
some of
doesn't do anything though. It's attached, but it doesn't do anything.
No, I see that now.
Okay.
I see. I see. I see
All right,
what
I
probably
guess
happened to me.
I'm ready to vote on this one then.
Yeah.
I say no.
No.
No,
Is it no for you, Josh?
Yeah.
nah. I guess not. Now knowing what the understood shadow is, I'd say no.
So no.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought shadow.
Thank you so much for submitting, but you will be the only person shadowing somebody at their job. But thank you for listening. All right, our final idea from the people who listen to the show. If I ruled the world, all toilet stalls should be completely soundproof. We don't need to hear what's going on in there. Okay, this one, I'm already going to tell you is a no for me.
This
That's
is
like the joy of going to a public toilet.
You like to listen?
No, I don't like to listen, but that's the joy of it. It's like a horror movie. I don't like horror movies, but if I took out the scary parts, then it wouldn't be a horror movie. A public toilet without the sounds is not a public toilet.
It's
Do you know
still
what I mean?
public. It's
Guys,
just
it would be
soundproof.
It would be creepy. Imagine going into a public toilet and it's silent.
I want that.
No, this is
I
creepy.
want that.
Here's the thing. I'm gonna vote no with you, but for very different reasons. Like I feel like I don't love the sounds, and I'd rather not
Okay,
hear.
you're,
them.
Okay, so what's your
misunderstanding
no?
me. You're misunderstanding me. No one loves the sounds,
Okay.
but the sounds are part of the experience.
I don't want it. I don't even want to hear the toilet flush.
I mean, I wish I wasn't in there when I'm in there. So
You wish
yes,
you weren't in there.
that's the
Yeah.
point.
yeah,
That's the point.
But the sound I would say needs to be left up to the environment because I went to the bathroom and there was a guy who fell, right? And we know he fell because he was like, I fell, right? And it's
Inside
like
one of
if-
the.
in the stall.
Okay.
And if it had been soundproof, who knows?
No one would have helped him.
Yeah.
You could die in there. Okay, have you ever used a public toilet and needed toilet paper and asked somebody to bring it to you? I've done that once. Once in my life that happened to me. It was back in South Africa, but that happened once. And I was like, man, there's no toilet paper. And then I had to shout out, hey, I need toilet paper. And then someone handed it to me.
Over the store?
Yeah.
Oh.
No, I got mine rolled to me.
They rolled it on the floor?
Yeah.
So you wiped your ass with the floor?
No, it has more. It's unrolling as it rolls. It travels the way that it
so
exists.
You left the part of it that had...
Yeah, so basically, I was in a bathroom in a restaurant that was out of toilet paper, and I had to wait until somebody came in. And so then I was like, hey, like, I need help. And the person was like, oh, okay, I got you, right? Mm-hmm. And then they left and they never came back. They didn't have me.
Wow.
And then someone else eventually came in. I was like, hey, I need some help. I need toilet paper. And they were like, ooh, I got you. Okay. And then they left and I was worried they wouldn't come back. But when they came back, they had the big old roll.
Yeah.
That big roll that you install in the thing.
Yeah.
And he bowled it under to me. And it was a real hero move.
I like this.
All right, I will
Did
say...
you get to meet the person afterwards? You remember back in the day on that TV show Rescue 911, you'd get to meet the operator who saved your life?
So...
Did you get to meet the person? Did you hug them and take a picture afterwards?
No, because I started thanking him and then he left. Because he knew I was wiping while I was thanking him, and I think that was too much for him.
Weird.
All right, so we're ready to vote. All toilet stalls should be completely soundproof. Mine is a definite no.
Yeah, I'm changing to a no only because in ladies' toilet, I don't know if you know this about women, but when I used to club 10 years ago before my life was over and I had kids, you hear so much gossip.
You see? It's
and
part
I
of the
believe
experience.
In gossip, also known as oral history. You know, so like I like when you're on the toilet, you just hear people talking shit and you don't even know the characters.
Exactly.
But like all of that, it helps the camaraderie. So that would be the only reason.
This is yet another thing that'll make people feel isolated. It will make you feel alone. Do you know how nice it is to sit in a stall, go through something physically, and know someone next to you is going through the same?
Well, I like the person that coughs because they're about to drop a load. That always makes me laugh.
This is what I mean. Now you're understanding what I mean. You were so against me in the beginning, and now you get it. The sounds make this what it is. I vote no. No, toilet stalls should not be completely soundproof.
No.
No.
Well, there you go. That is a flat out no. We'll be hearing you take a dump, whoever you are. But thank you so much for listening to the podcast. So the only thing that got passed from the public, high schools will start no earlier than 9 a.m. So we'll see you at 9:01.
Our listeners are really concerned with toilets and toilet paper. Like, what is going on in the bowels of like...
It's actually why it's so hard to change the world. Look at all those proposals.
It really is.
Only one thing.
The people don't think big enough. Well, there it is. If I Ruled the World Listener Edition. Thank you, every single one of you, for all your wonderful suggestions, even though we shot down almost all of them. But I mean, that's the nature of the game, right? And guess what? We want to hear much more from you. So we have a What Now email address. It's whatnow@dayzeroproductions.com. whatnow@dayzeroproductions.com. Get in touch with any comments about the show, suggestions for future topics or guests, and more of your If I Ruled the World ideas. I promise we won't shoot them all down, by the way. So, send us a few. Let's see what happens. Tell us your name and where you're writing from. And better yet, record it as a voice memo and send it along so we can play it on the show. Once again, that's whatnow@dayzeroproductions.com to reach the show. We'll be back next week with a full new episode. In the meantime, from everyone on the show, we wish you a happy Thanksgiving. May all your plane boardings be smooth and all your toilet paper be 2-ply.